Aloha everybody, this is Bridget Townsend. I'm a realtor and co-founder of the Oahuist. Today we're going to be talking about how you can sell your home in the smoothest possible way so you can have a nice pleasant experience and transition into your new lifestyle. Great, if you're watching this, you've probably decided to work with us, and we're going to break this down into 3 simple steps. 1 is preparing your home. 2, we're going to be marketing your home to the public. And 3, we're going to be negotiating on your behalf to get you the best deal and leverage your position in the market to net you the most at closing. All right, everybody, step 1, preparing your home. This is probably the most important step of getting your home sold for the highest amount, right? Typically, your goal is to sell your home in the shortest amount of time for the highest price possible. And how do we do that? We do that with thorough preparation. Everybody that's purchasing a home in today's market is experiencing more of a social event than ever before. People are looking at your home in the eyes of how it's going to look to the world about their purchasing decision. And if you want to sell your home for top dollar, it better look good. So one thing that I want you to think about is landscaping. Why landscaping? Well, it's the one thing that can't be rushed. So if you even have the thought, I'm thinking about selling my home maybe in a month or 2 or next week, please look at your landscaping and the plants around your home and how are they doing? Do they need some attention? Do they need some love? Do they need some water? And if you are not the type to have a green thumb, hire a landscaper. Have them come and love on your yard so that when you are prepared to put your home on the market, the one thing that can't be rushed, which is growing grass, it's going to look nice, lush, and green and look wonderful for the photos. Now, if you are working with us, you probably have opted for a package that includes professional cleaning. It's important to know that the cleaners are not responsible for moving your items. So as much as you can, tuck all of your personal items in your junk drawers, your boxes, your containers, and put them away. That is, of course, if you're not vacating your home altogether, which I definitely recommend. An available home that's easy to see for the buyers that are out in the market is always better. Buyers want to see the home at all different hours of the day. Now, don't worry, we'll never show your home in the evening. We will show it always in its best light, but typically a vacant home is best. Now, if that's not the case, and regardless of which one you choose, I always recommend that the home is cleared of as much clutter as possible. If you happen to be owner occupied or if the place is tenant occupied, we'd prefer to do a cleaning before and after. Typically, when you go into negotiations with your contract, you'll have to pay for cleaning anyways. I mean, that's usually requested by the buyer. So why not do it in the beginning and potentially get yourself more money in the end? My goal is to net you more money, and that's why I always think that preparation is the most important thing. If you opted for a staging package, congratulations. Staging is probably the best thing that you could do for selling your home. Sometimes your buyer will walk into an empty shell of a home and they don't know or can't really imagine what they're going to do with certain spaces. Staging helps them to see the potential of their new lifestyle in your home. And mind you, I don't recommend virtual staging. I know that's all the craze these days, but if you guys look out in the market, virtual staging can be disappointing. It really can be. You look at a home, it looks amazing, and then you get there in person and it doesn't look like that at all. Real staging is very important. I think it is the most important part of preparing your home so that people can really come in to the space and see the possibilities. Something that you could do that really doesn't cost that much money, but most people don't think of, pressure washing. Oh my gosh, this is the best sweat equity that you can add to your home, or you can hire somebody. But pressure washing is wonderful. Do the pavement, do your driveway. Now be careful when you touch the home because you can rip off some paint. And if you have double pane windows, you can break the seal of your windows, which could cost you thousands of dollars in negotiations. So please, if you're going to be doing the home or the windows, hire a professional and let them know if you have double pane windows. And it's nowhere near as expensive as painting your home. But don't dismiss painting. Painting is a wonderful way also to get a good return on investment. In fact, I believe the two highest return on investment for preparing your home is paint and flooring. So one of the last things that you're going to be doing to prepare your home is a pre-home inspection. So if you went ahead and chose the package that includes these features, we're going to have a home inspector come into your home and basically do an inspection just like the buyer would, but we're going to do it before they do it. Why do we want to dedicate the time, energy, and money to do so? Basically, we want to save you money in the long run. It is essentially a negotiation strategy for some buyers to, once they get their foot in the door, negotiate as they find things wrong with your home. So I think it's always best that we find them first, disclose it to them properly, and ask them to consider the condition of the home and the things that we found to let them know that this is the condition we're selling it in and it's coming as is. Step 2 is going to be marketing your home. This is extremely important, and this is why we did so much work to prepare your home. We're now going to be hiring professional photographers to take photos of your home, and if we're allowed, we're going to do aerial shots of your property as well. We also take pictures of the nearby amenities, pools, parks, things like that, to really showcase not just your home, but what is actually going to come with your home, the lifestyle that's involved in your home. And then we're going to be presenting that on the market with a video and basically give people different options to see your home. In addition to this, we also do what's called a 3D Matterport walkthrough. Now this is really cool if you like video games like I do. It's kind of like you can walk through the home and you can look up and around and you can see everything. Sometimes your buyer isn't here in the state. They may be out of state or even international, and they want to see what does this home really look like, what's the flow and the layout of the home, and that can make a huge difference. So we definitely recommend the 3D walkthrough. Once all of your photography has been scheduled and we've got that squared away, we're going to use all that material to make professional brochures and to create a number of social media posts. Basically, we're going to cover the different main platforms that people are going to be searching for your home. We also present them on some of the major Realtor websites like Realtor.com or Zillow.com. Not only that, but we also do extensive research on your property to show the buyer that your home is priced right. And basically by doing so, we're going to give you a lot of leverage. When they step foot into your home, we typically have like a cork board where we want to display some of the neighborhood features, places that you can walk your dog, neighborhood eateries, nearby schools, things like that. The buyers have these questions typically, and so we display them on a nice board so we don't have to helicopter over our buyers when they come to the open house. They can just kind of see for themselves all the great things about your home. So another way that we market your home, obviously we have a for sale sign in the dirt if it's allowed, but we also have a text writer at the bottom that allows anybody that's walking by or jogging by or walking with their dogs or driving, whatever it is, they can actually text a number and get all the information about your property, and it's very instantaneous. It also alerts us and tells us if the person that has inquired about your home, it sends us all their information so we can follow up with them. And then in addition to all of this, every time we host an open house, we have a really nice platform that basically shows you every single person that came in the door. And believe it or not, another way to get your home sold is that we communicate with all of the local realtors. There are realtors that specialize in specific neighborhoods and zip codes, and we reach out to them personally to find out if they have any buyers that might be interested in the home. And all these different ways of marketing, you would think that maybe one is more effective than the other. You never know where your buyer can come from. So we have a very set checklist of all the things that we want to do to market your home, because the buyer could come from any one of these avenues. That's so important, to cast a wide net, but an effective net, right? We can't do everything. We want to do the things that are going to actually get people into your home and create leverage. Step 3, we're going to be talking about negotiations. This is the fun part. Oh my gosh, I love this part. So once your home has been presented out to the market and we have offers in hand, it depends if we have more than one offer or just one offer. But you know, typically the strategy can be very different. It just depends, right? When there is multiple offers, we will typically put everything in a spreadsheet and we'll extract the most important information. We want to know all about their realtor, their lender. Are they actually pre-qualified or pre-approved, better yet? And if they're providing any cash funds for the down payment or for the offer entirely, where are those cash funds coming from, and is it actually liquid? And if not, what is it going to take to get those funds out so that we don't have any delays, so you can plan accordingly? So you know the old saying, don't count your chickens until they hatch? This is the prime example of that. Whenever you're in a real estate transaction, there's a lot of contingencies that basically I consider hurdles. We got to get over these hurdles, and until you do so, you don't want to count your chickens until they hatch. So you definitely want to make sure that while you're going through this process, to just stay calm, and if any questions come up or any issues, just know that there could be some things that we have to get through, and that's why you have me to guide you through this whole process, to help guide you through some of the things that could come up. Of course, we want to anticipate things as much as we can to avoid any issues and just have a nice, smooth transaction. Now that we've gone over the 3 simple steps, there's a couple of upfront expenses that I want you to keep in mind. Now, the first thing that would come up almost immediately is going to be any association documents. So typically, if you live in a place that has a Grand Master Association for the neighborhood, that's one set of documents. And if you live in a high-rise or even like a subdivision, which in some places in Hawaii could be a single family home, you'd have 2 sets of documents. Now, if you're selling your home and you have a single family home, sometimes the seller will request for you to do a survey. They're gonna basically tell you all the boundaries of your home. We wanna make sure that your home's not encroaching on any of the neighbors. Now, in a typical transaction, the sellers pay for the termite inspection. So Hawaii, we have termites, unfortunately. If it is recommended by the entomologist to fumigate your home, and then there's the timing of all of that. So if you're aware of any termite issues in your home, it's a really good idea to have that inspected or taken a look at early on, so you can address it early on and you're not being rushed while you're in the middle of the transaction. And of course, you can disclose that up front, so you're not going through this big lengthy process and then the buyer is now discovering, wow, you have termites, and not only that, but they're recommending fumigation. They could walk away. And this is again why I will always circle back to the pre-home inspection to discover any of these issues so we can have them addressed early on. There's professional cleaning as well, but if you did opt for the package that includes this, you wouldn't have to pay for that. And then there's a home warranty which you could offer to the buyer, which again, some of our packages include. And this is like additional peace of mind that you don't have to worry that if the buyer comes into the home and there's some major issues, the warranty can kind of cover some of those additional things. One of the last upfront expenses that could come up are repairs and credits. So even though you're doing a pre-home inspection, or if you didn't opt to do one, and the buyer comes in and discovers something that was unbeknownst to them, for example, they come in and they find out that all the windows, the double pane windows, the seals are broken, which might make them reconsider moving forward. Now contractually, you're not even obligated to respond to a request for repairs or credits, but you obviously don't want them to walk away either. So if that's something that would deter them from moving forward, it's sometimes advantageous to offer a credit for them to do the repairs. You could do the repairs yourself, and the buyers could ask for the repairs for themselves, but I always recommend that you just offer money. They can choose the contractor, the material, they can choose all of that on their own. And this is why I say don't count your chickens until they hatch, because you never know until you go through the whole process and find out what needs to be done. One last note that I want you to think about when you're selling your home is the proceeds. Hopefully you're selling your home for a profit, and if you're making money, what are you going to do with that? Now, it's important to ask this question early on in the process because you may have some taxes to pay, especially if you're not a resident of Hawaii. And this is something that before you consider selling, I would really like you to talk to your CPA and your financial advisor about the consequences of selling your home. This is something that you don't want to wait to the very end to discover that there could be a lot of taxes due. And something else to consider if you're selling an investment property is a 1031 exchange. Again, when it comes to tax strategies, I always recommend that you consult with those professionals that are licensed to advise you properly. please reach out. We're always happy to have a conversation with your CPA to see how we can help you best. Last but not least, you're going to want to have everything removed from the home. All your personal effects and the professional cleaning needs to be done about a week before closing. Your buyer is going to come in and do a final walkthrough. And so please leave all your utilities on until the very day of closing, because they may need to come back and do one last walkthrough and make sure that everything is the way it was when they did the home inspection. And if you're going to be leaving anything like paint, flooring, or any of the warranties in the home, have all that stuff easily accessible. And sometimes it's courteous to take a picture so that the buyer knows what you're going to be leaving, because they don't always want your stuff. We'll also come by to pick up our sign, pick up our lockbox, make sure we remove all of these items from the home, and hand over the keys, garage door openers, and any fob keys over to the new buyer. One of the questions I get really often is, how long does it take for me to get the proceeds from my sale? And that usually happens the day that we record. So that's the actual closing date, not necessarily the day that you're signing or the buyer's signing. Here in Hawaii, after the buyer signs, they fund the next day, and then 2 business days later, they're closing. So if they're signing on a Thursday, they fund on a Friday, you're not closing till Tuesday. And on recordation, that's when everything is completely transferred over and you should see funds in your account that day. If you need help finding a realtor to wherever you're going, we can help you find a realtor worldwide. So we are full service and we can work together with your realtor wherever you're moving to, if that's not here in Hawaii. We can actually work together to help you find your new home wherever you're going. So whenever you think of real estate, please think of us, the Oahuists, because we're always here for you when it comes to your real estate needs. Have a wonderful day. Aloha.